While stumbling around the internets, I came across this article from GameInformer by Matt Bertz, posted today, October 23rd, 2017. Rockstar discusses past, present, and future of Grand Theft Auto Online. And yes, the article is linked in the description section for your reading pleasure. And we're going to go over the interview parts between Matt and the Rockstar Director of Design, Imran Sarwar. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. And I'm going to skip over the top part, and then we're just going to get right to the interview. So everything in bold is what Matt says. That's his part. Everything that's not in bold in regular font is what Imran says. Just wanted to let you guys know. And I'm not going to be doing that much editing here, because there's a lot of words. See? Lots of words for us to go over. So I'm going to do my best not to stumble too much, but there will probably be some stumbling, knowing my luck. And if I have to, I'll edit some of it out. But for the most part, we're just going to go forward. And let me know below in the comment section your thoughts, your views, your opinion regarding Grand Theft Auto Online, its past, present, and the future, along with what you get from this interview between Matt Bertz and Imran over at Rockstar. So we're going to start off with what Matt says with the interview in bold, quote unquote. Over the last 4 years, Grand Theft Auto Online has grown in so many different directions that it services a lot of different play styles, from cooperative heists to illicit business ventures to competitive multiplayer and racing. Since its launch in 2013, how much of the content was pre-planned as a part of the grand vision, and how much was determined by examining how players were engaging with the game? Imran responds, "We intentionally kept the initial concept fairly broad, which was to replicate as much of the Grand Theft Auto experience as we could in an online environment, using the shared architecture of the world as a platform, adding some sort of permanent experience to conventional multiplayer modes. We had discussed the idea of doing heists and other more structured content, but our initial attempts at them were not very good." Yeah, they weren't. To be totally honest, it did not begin very well at all. The launch was rocky, which we expected, but perhaps worse than we expected, and one of the first big innovations we had promised, heists, were not looking like they would live up to our standards and had to be completely redesigned from scratch. Delaying them several times as we started and restarted various attempts to make them good enough, Grand Theft Auto Online was slowly failing and quickly losing players. Right up until the middle of 2014, the updates were not interesting enough, and as a company, we did not realize how challenging it was going to be to have a team that essentially ran a content service, not making normal games. Heists were the turnaround, along with improvements in the game's core stability. They were a huge hit and gave us an understanding of the kind of complex missions that were possible. Using the information we gained from seeing how different players spent their time inside Grand Theft Auto Online, we started developing new ideas that would deliver something for everyone. Businesses would cater to traditional Grand Theft Auto players, but build on the cooperative mission gameplay we use for heists. Bikers and lowriders gave something to those who wanted to fully immerse themselves in the fiction of the world. The more comfortable we were by pushing beyond the traditional Grand Theft Auto concepts and experimenting more freely, we were able to introduce things like cunning stunts, special vehicle races, adversary modes like power play, tiny racers, or slasher. You had to mention tiny racers? Really? These days our players' number are bigger than ever, and we have a range of gameplay to suit, if not every Grand Theft Auto player, then at least a wide variety of them. We've also been improving the fundamentals of the game the entire time. A game on this scale will never be perfect, but it simply runs better, plays better, and has fewer issues now than it ever has. Given all the effort that's gone into the game over the past 4 years, it's one of the biggest regrets that we lost millions of players that first year that never experienced how much we improved and added to the game since the early days. Back to Matt. Grand Theft Auto Online has proven itself a consistent destination for gamers, with Grand Theft Auto 5 continuing to stay in the top 10 sell charts, a jaw-dropping 4 years after its launch. To what do you most contribute its success? That's what Matt said. Here's what Imran says in response. We put that down to a combination of factors. At a fundamental level, there is an amazingly detailed living world that works for both the single-player story and a shared multiplayer experience. We have put a huge amount of work into the single-player experience, and we have subsequently put a huge amount into the multiplayer experience. I would say huger. Both have been pretty evolutionary and polished. The other real strength of Grand Theft Auto Online is the diversity of the gameplay in the world. You can treat it like a traditional Grand Theft Auto world and explore on your own, or take a friend to the movies, or play a game of tennis. Nope, no tennis for me, no thanks, no, that takes forever. Then there's a wide range of relatively structured activities like classic missions or heists, through the running of a business, or forming a biker gang, or just attempting free mode challenges. And of course, at any moment you can jump in with friends or strangers and invent something of your own, creating your own metagames using props inside the world, teaming up to do a series of convenience store robberies, or just stopping traffic to create carnage. Yeah, that's something me and my friends like to do on a regular basis. We love checking out the latest crazy videos when people discover some new way to play in the world. Back to Matt. What's the most surprising or interesting thing you've seen the community do in the game? It's probably the limits to which people are pushing the Rockstar editor and director mode to make movies. Some of the more abstract or visually playful movies we've seen are really pushing not just the limits of the editor, but also the expectations about what the game can provide to players. There's a huge range of creations, from homages to great films, through incredible stunt compilations that use vast range of new props added over the last 2 years. We've built these tools to give fans everything they needed to make amazing content, but the creative community has pushed the limits of what we thought the tools could do. Related to this are the incredible communities within the broader player base that always continue to amaze us. The incredible example of this is the biker MCs of Los Santos and their different quote-unquote chapters, which live the life of biker gangs within the broader Grand Theft Auto Online world. Another example of the stunning community, which dedicates massive amounts of time to perfecting insane stunts around Los Santos. This isn't just landing an impressive jump, which is cool in its own right. This is linking together multiple parkour-style car and bike tricks from spot to spot, from one less seamless time of tricks to executed with deep levels of control. This sort of emergent gameplay and commitment role-playing always surprises and impresses. Another great example of the stunt is quote-unquote liquor hole skydiving stunt, where players thread the needle by skydiving through a sign above a liquor hole store. That takes true dedication and skill. See, it's amazing all the stuff that still happens in Grand Theft Auto Online that even as a hardcore fan, you just learn about. Like, I didn't know about this hardcore skydiving stunt. I'm gonna have to try that out. I'll probably fail miserably, but I'm willing to give it a try. Okay, continuing. With both Grand Theft Auto 4 and Red Dead Redemption, Rockstar made excellent dedicated single-player campaign-style expansions in episodes from Liberty City and Undead Nightmare. Grand Theft Auto Online has integrated narrative elements to setting up criminal enterprises, but most of the tales generated from Grand Theft Auto Online are more emergent in nature. Was it a tough call to move away from the scripted experiences, or do you view this as a natural evolution of open world design towards giving players more agency over their play experience? No, it was not really a conscious decision. It's just what happened. We would love to do more single player add-ons for the games in the future. As a company, we love single player more than anything and believe in it absolutely. For storytelling and a sense of immersion in a world, multiplayer games don't rival single-player games. With Grand Theft Auto 5, the single-player game was absolutely massive and very, very complete. It was 3 games in one. The next-gen version took a year for everyone's time to get right. Then the online component had a lot of potential, but to come close to realizing that potential also sucked up a lot of resources. And then there's other games, in particular Red Dead Redemption 2. The combination of these 3 factors means for this game, we did not feel single-player expansions were either possible or necessary, but we may well do them in future projects. At Rockstar, we will always have bandwidth issues because we are perfectionists and do make huge, complex games that takes lots of time and resources. Not everything is always possible, but we still love single-player open-world games more than anything. I don't think you could make a game like Grand Theft Auto 5 if you did not like single-player games and trying to expand their possibilities. The issue I have with this statement is the fact that it was mentioned in a Rockstar newswire many years ago that they were planning single-player DLC. And, scuttlebutt has come out that there was a plan, but it got shelved. Or elements were repurposed for Grand Theft Auto Online. So Rockstar did initially have plans for at least one, maybe three story-based DLCs revolved around possibly the three main characters, Michael, Trevor, and Franklin. It's unfortunate we did not get those DLCs, to be honest, because I would have loved to have gotten some more story DLCs for Grand Theft Auto 5, even though I do obviously play more in Grand Theft Auto Online. I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5 in quite some time. Continuing, for Rockstar fans saddened by the fact that Grand Theft Auto 5 didn't receive story-focused single-player campaign expansions, what Grand Theft Auto Online content would you recommend they check out? Imran responds, I'd recommend any of the update that gives you a chance to interact with the characters from the main storyline. Lowriders puts you in touch with Lamar and his crew. Bikers has the Lost MC helping you. Wait, it's not the Lost MC, though. Imran, we need to talk. Do you actually play Grand Theft Auto Online? The Lost MC is the antagonists. They're not helping you. No, they're not. Continuing. Let's see. Bikers has the Lost MC helping you set up shop. That's Malk, and Malk is not a member of the Lost MC. Lester helps facilitate heists, while Trevor makes a cameo appearance. Agent 14 guides you through building bunker businesses and gun running. However, Agent 14 does not appear in Grand Theft Auto 5, though. He's exclusively a Grand Theft Auto Online character, but the best combination of gameplay and additional character interaction, you can't go past Smuggler's Run update. Not only is their missions a lot of fun, but Nervous Ron is still extremely nervous about having you for a business partner, and he hosts a whole new episode of Blaine County Radio Community Hour on Blaine County Talk Radio. Matt asked this question, how does your design approach change when you must constantly factor in cooperative and adversarial plays as opposed to creating single-player experience? There's a technical challenge simply because the number of variables increasing exponentially, especially when you're dealing with a cooperative experience on the same level as single-player game. This was one of the reasons Heist was more initially so difficult to get right. Every player had to feel like they were having a unique experience inside the overall mission, rather than just feeling like you're a backup gunner along for the ride. Adversary modes are a lot of fun to design because you're dialing back the scripted experience in favor of literal games. We take our inspiration from those all different types of places, from traditional shooter games to American football and darts. Yeah, that last part makes sense with what overtime shootout. Yeah, that has a darts theme to it. Yeah, you're right. I had to think about that for a moment. Okay. Back to Matt. Many online adversarial games stick with a handful of game modes. Grand Theft Auto Online offers dozens, which have proven most popular with the gamers over the years. Let's see. And Imran's response of the earlier modes, Slasher and Deadline, are still really popular alongside with classics like Hunting Pack, Across the Line, which still have a dedicated following. Every adversary mode finds its dedicated fan base over time. Even Running Back? Really? Who still plays that? Adversary modes often involves asymmetrical gameplay, which lets us really creative and experiment with what the players have to do in the mode or to do with each other to win. Hasta La Vista is a great early example. Players on highly maneuverable bicycles being hunted down by powerful but unwieldy semi-trucks, trailers, big rigs, whatever you want to call them, in the Los Santos River Basin. Before the adversary modes, there were more typical symmetrical versus modes, but adversary modes turn the players' expectations on their head, giving them the chance to take a break from their lowrider car, meets or criminal empires to take a step into another world within this world. There are some adversary modes I like, but a lot of them, not so much. One of my favorite things to do in Grand Theft Auto Online is check out the clothes other players are wearing. The fashion options for self-expression are deeper than any other game, and Rockstar continues to expand this with each content expansion. Do you have a dedicated team that constantly works on new fashion offerings, or does it happen more organically? Imran responds, it's a bit of both. We have a team that is constantly researching and designing new clothing for all of our games for Grand Theft Auto Online. That means being constantly on the lookout for appropriate clothes from specific subcultures or from the latest fashion trends. We try to ensure that there's an even balance of male and female clothing options with every update. Okay, so I have a quick question here. Something I've been asking for and others have been asking for a while now. Are we going to get Halloween costumes Friday? I mean, that's something I've been wanting for the past few years. I don't know about you. I mean, we've got a lot of awesome Halloween-themed masks in the game, but no costumes except for what you can create. I would just like some costumes. So hopefully we'll be surprised probably Friday with more than just the Vigilante Batmobile and the new adversary mode. Hopefully, maybe, just maybe, some costumes, Rockstar. That would be nice. Okay, get off my soapbox. All right, so continuing. Rockstar made the conscious decision not to charge players for large content drops like gun running. What? Anyways, let's continue. Okay. Rockstar made the conscious decision not to charge players for large content drops like gun running, import-export, further adventures in finance and felony, etc. Yet we still see criticisms that too much of the new content in Grand Theft Auto Online is aimed towards high rollers who spend either hundreds of hours in the game or invest in shark cards. What is your response to those complaints? Now, this will be interesting. By the way, I didn't read the article until now. I'm reading it along with you guys. So we're going to see how this goes. Every single evolution ever made in Grand Theft Auto franchise has been treated at the time with derision and criticism from sections of the fan base, including moving to 3D, having a talking protagonist, having an African-American protagonist, making the episodes, and having 3 playable characters. Grand Theft Auto Online is no different. Grand Theft Auto has stayed relevant because we're obsessed by continuing to evolve and... but whenever we do that, people don't like it. So all we can do is make it to what we believe are great experiences. I'll get back to my thought about that in a moment. With Grand Theft Auto Online, we decided to give our players access to all the updates for free because it kept our players together and allows to play their own choices about what they want from each update and in what order. Everyone has access to everything, and no one is forced to pay a lump sum for items that they may or may not want or need. With both Grand Theft Auto 4 and Red Dead Redemption, we sold DLC, and unfortunately both times it was fractured the audience and helped to kill the games much faster than they deserved. With Grand Theft Auto Online, if there's content people don't like or want, they can simply ignore it and do something else, while still being in the same core world as everyone else. For us, this model works and has let us keep expanding the experience. Given the huge amount of stuff we have given absolutely for free, including Heists and all the modes and all the clothes, which cost almost nothing, I really don't think that we can be accused of gouging the player base. People can happily pay and never spend a dollar aside from buying the game. In addition to those regular large updates, we're always offering additional bonuses and discounts for players, which not only exposes them to fun new items and modes they may not have considered owning or playing, but it means that simply by jumping into a game in the weeks prior to an update, you can quickly earn enough cash to buy items that you want when the new update arrives. The vast bulk of our millions of players are playing their way to the items they need, forcing players to buy regular updates. The size of something like Heist or gun running would almost certainly elicit similar pushback to the criticism we receive for the way that Grand Theft Auto Online works, and would definitely not given us the ability to deliver the content at this level of quality to millions of players in the same way. So I understand the premise for Grand Theft Auto Online since the beginning, the idea of making everything available for quote-unquote free in order to allow all players the opportunity to get these items, whether it's apartments, new vehicles, clothing, weapons, or the newer stuff like the yachts, executive buildings with the garages, bunkers, hangars, etc. But the prices have increased for the said content, and it's become a lot more difficult to grind in Grand Theft Auto Online in order to purchase these things without buying shark cards. And the reality is that Rockstar and Take-Two has made easily over $1 billion with shark cards, and I've spent a few bucks on shark cards as well. And to compare that backlash to Grand Theft Auto going 3D with Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas, to having a talking protagonist like Tommy Vercetti, voiced by Ray Liotta in Vice City, and then having an African-American protagonist like CJ in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is not the same thing. Those are revolutionary. Those are moving the game forward from top down to 3D to having a character like Tommy Vercetti or CJ, unlike Claude in Grand Theft Auto 3, which basically didn't talk at all. And like they mentioned, having an African American protagonist like CJ, that's pushing it. That's like saying, look, we're taking a step forward in the name of progress and innovation. But at the same time, I do think that things are more expensive when it comes to the items in Grand Theft Auto Online. And I get that it costs a lot of money for Rockstar to make the content. And they have added a lot of free stuff, like most recently with Transform Races. So I applaud Rockstar for adding the content to Grand Theft Auto Online. And yes, you can theoretically still grind and do heists and do all these other business ventures to make the money in order to purchase the new content. But a lot of people don't have the same kind of time to dedicate completely to Grand Theft Auto Online when they have work, when they have school, when they have lives, and even other video games to play. So I don't know. I feel like that's a interesting response, but it doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. But at the same time, I have enjoyed most of the content that has come out over the past 4 years. And finally, we've reached the bottom of the article. How much longer do you plan to add new expansions and updates to Grand Theft Auto Online? This is a good question. Will this live in tandem with Red Dead Redemption 2 when it launches next year? And here's Imran's response. We don't have yet a fixed endpoint in mind, but the rollout of updates may change a little in order to encourage players to try Red Dead Redemption 2 when it launches. It would be great to have players splitting time between two incredible worlds, but we shall see how things evolve. One of the enjoyable things about working on a project like this is that you can go quickly and change and evolve plans fairly quickly too, so we don't have to be as clear in our plans as with other projects. I kind of wish that they did have, a timeline for the fan base to say, look, we know that a lot of you are kind of concerned about Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out, which will most likely have an online component. I think it's going to be called Red Dead Online. I think that's been trademarked. It's not a secret. So obviously Rockstar is going to be focusing their efforts on Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online when that comes out, hopefully spring 2018, which I'm looking forward to, by the way, and I'm going to continue to cover any news regarding Red Dead Redemption 2 or Grand Theft Auto Online. But at the same time, I would like some more transparency, because the Grand Theft Auto community, which is loyal and has been for the past 4 years, would like to know whether or not Rockstar is going to continue supporting and adding to Grand Theft Auto Online going into 2018 or 2019 and beyond. Or is there an end of life planned for the game? Or is there going to be just a continuation similar to World of Warcraft, where they just keep updating it and maybe even adding new locations, which I myself would very much like. I would love for them to add, like San Fierro or Las Venturas, or even North Yankton, or Liberty City, or maybe even Vice City somewhere down the road. That would be freaking awesome if Rockstar did that. But anyways, let me know what you thought about this article below in the comments section to shed some more light regarding the future of Grand Theft Auto Online, as well as the past regarding GTA Online. Does it answer some questions you may have had about it? Or does it, present more questions that you would love for Imran and others at Rockstar to answer? Because a lot of times Rockstar is very secretive about the goings-on within the day-to-day operations of Grand Theft Auto Online. And that's understandable. I get it. You don't want to, put all the knowledge out there, even though I do like transparency. At the same time, I do respect it. But at the same time, I really do hope that they will continue to support Grand Theft Auto Online as long as enough people are playing and have invested so much time into the game, with our characters, with the friends we've made, the various crews, whatever you do, whether it's bikers or lowriders or doing heists or your business ventures. I do hope that they will continue to support Grand Theft Auto Online, especially since, we, the community, has supported it by playing the game. And a lot of us have also monetarily supported it by purchasing, at least one copy of Grand Theft Auto 5, multiple in my case, 360, Xbox One, and of course PS4, as well as the shark cards. So hopefully the coming of Red Dead Redemption 2 in the spring, which once again I'm very, very excited for, and we'll be covering as more information comes out. Yeah, I just hope that they will continue to support Grand Theft Auto Online along with Red Dead Online as well. So once again, let me know your views, your opinions, your thoughts regarding this Game Informer article. Rockstar discusses past, present, and future of Grand Theft Auto Online below in the comments section. And if you want to go read it for yourself, you can find the article in the description section.